Men can sit there in their shorts in a pool and it'd be perfectly fine. Why can't a woman sit in a bikini?
I have recently quit smoking after 17 years.
Oh,
Which
yes.
is it's a massive thing for me.
We have a special guest, Logan Paul. No, but hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of this podcast, all about content creation, the creators that make it happen, and the platforms that help us put it all together. I'm one of your four hosts, Zio, and I'm alongside Sparkle, Dobbs, and Parker, and all of you are live with Ryze. Now, how's everyone doing after last week?
Amazing.
I'm good. All good. Nice week
We
in
had
work.
a week in work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how that feels.
You will do soon.
soon. It's getting there. I'm sure that will be one of my moments of the week coming up when I actually start, so I'm looking forward to it. But it has been a week since the release of the first episode, and I think firstly we've got to say thank you to everyone that gave it a watch. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. We appreciate all of you. There's been some good comments coming up on the posts as well. Appreciate everyone sharing it on social media. We'll put a little thing up there. Just make sure to subscribe and like to this video as well if you haven't already. But we're gonna crack on with just what we do at the start of all the episodes is our moments of the week. And he's back, she's back. We haven't decided on a name yet.
I'm just gonna ask about that.
For the spinning wheel, the magical spinning wheel.
We did get a few suggestions in, didn't we?
We have had a few suggestions.
Alice.
We're gonna have to put this up. We'll put it up on screen, some of these suggestions that have come in. But I believe so far what we've got, Philippe from Lizard Lord came through.
Wallace.
We have had that. Wallace
the
from Brooksy.
Yeah.
That has also come through. I think we had some on the Discord somewhere as well. Seamus and a Boris. We'll have to find those comments as well. So we've got some names. We've got some names coming through, but we do still need that name. Maybe we'll put something up on the Twitter. Maybe we'll put something up on the Discord. Follow them. Check them out anyway. Get involved in the decision making. But we do need a name for this. We need a final name for everyone wants it to be called going forward. But it is used to decide. Yeah, go on.
Are you gonna make like a little name tag for it as well then? Like put it at the bottom?
I might I'm thinking around the Activia yogurt pot here, I'm thinking of actually putting a coat on it and then putting a little name badge with whatever people decide. So, girls, get that.
Start using glitter.
Glitter, glue guns. I'm in that garage. Be straight there. I've actually got a lot of glitter left over from this last, obviously, artistic project that I did here. So, incredible. But we will use this for the start. I need a job, mate. That's what I need. But we use it. Who's doing the first moment of the week? Oh, it's a good spin, as well. And first up is, of course it'd be me. Of course it'd be me first. Well, my moment of the week is actually very recent and has recently actually scrubbed out an old moment of the week because actually I've decided it wasn't as interesting. This is very up to date. It is that someone that Sparkle and I actually have watched for a long time. I'm not sure about the other two boys, and I'm sure some of you are aware of him. His name is Harris Heller, and he is the creator and owner of another YouTube channel called Alpha Gaming. He recently put out a video today. He actually put out a tweet. It started with a tweet on Friday where he was talking about how he is no longer going to be streaming on Twitch. And he left it at that. He said, I've received a weird email from Twitch. Guess I'll no longer be streaming there. Everyone's like, what's going on? Released the video today. announcing that he's actually going to be streaming over on YouTube Gaming going forwards and completely ending with Twitch. It turns out this wasn't a sudden thing. It's been going on for about a year. He wrote to Twitch about a year ago asking them to not renew his Twitch membership. He had been in contact for a long time. And finally, on Friday, he just randomly got an email, like he said in the video. It wasn't from Twitch directly. It was just a random email that he doesn't even know, and it said your Twitch membership runs out tomorrow. And he was like, "Oh, well, guess I'm no longer live streaming on there anymore." And he's made the move. Reasons behind it were that the way that he sees, and this will actually tie in quite nicely to the rest of the podcast here, anyway. But the way he saw it is the way that live streaming and social media is developing. Twitch have left themselves in a bit of a pocket by themselves compared to other live streaming platforms like Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, in the way that they also have other areas within that platform to provide video content and other forms of getting your content out there, whereas Twitch is purely live streaming. So he made that decision to go over to YouTube, and he's made that move. And he said himself he'll probably lose out on tens of thousands of pounds a month from this decision, but he thinks in the long run that is the way to go, and that's the way to move forward. So very relevant to the podcast moment of the week, and also something that's literally just happened. So
I think it's very interesting
interested
to
to
see though, like, because a big name like that already moving away from Twitch kind of does say something, like how it might be moving forward. And there is a lot of streamers already that are just basically only on YouTube now. And it does make sense because in the end, like, your followers only have to follow you on one platform then. Because you got your main channel videos on there, you got your streams on there, you got your YouTube shorts on there. Like, they don't have to swap over to another website or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think he even said, like, everything that Twitch is doing, like, very well at the moment, he sees it moving into the YouTube side of things as well, as in YouTube will make work of, like, having good sub badges or whatever, stuff like that. And I'm really intrigued into seeing how, like, YouTube as a streaming platform is going to develop over the next few, I don't know, months or years.
Yeah,
But,
because
yeah.
I think for smaller content creators, maybe there's a bit of a worry at times because they
Yeah.
think, well, for Twitch, I can get in. I might not be a huge content creator, but there is the option for bits and subs. Whereas on YouTube, there's like super chats.
Yeah, and I
which-
think you have to reach a certain number to get monetized as well and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's much bigger. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What,
it's
like
a lot.
1,000 subs and 4,000 watch time hours or something like that? Which is a lot
Yeah.
different to 3 average viewers.
3 average viewers and 50 followers. Yeah,
So it's a
yeah,
lot
big
different.
difference there.
Do you know what I find interesting though is that Harris Heller guy is basically like the guy that always preaches that you should always like diversify your content, as in be on as many platforms as you can to be relevant wherever like you think things might move a bit better or whatever. And it's so weird for me now to see him focusing on one platform basically as his main thing now, because he was the kind of guy to say like you should be on Twitch, you should be on YouTube making videos, you should be putting yourself out there on TikTok and all that. And now he's basically going like against his own thing.
Yeah, he's all of his vices always
Yeah.
been. I think we even used that. We said ages ago on like the Stegosaurus TV stuff that we need to stream on Twitch, but we need to be putting out some form of gaming content, not necessarily just like highlights, but an actual idea. And it's the same as what we're trying to do with the Ryze Stream Team YouTube, is get out challenges and gaming challenges on YouTube so that we've got a different platform it's going on to, and then all of a sudden he's gone, just put everything into YouTube.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's...
It will be a bit easier for him though, with the following that he's got.
That's what do you know what the funny
go
thing
across
is? He put that video out, and in the video he literally says, well, it's not monetized at the moment, and I've only got like 100 subs on that YouTube channel. When I watched the video, which was half an hour after it had been released, it was at 22,000 followers on the YouTube channel, and it
See,
already
so-
had 4,000 hours, 4,000 views as well.
So he hasn't got a problem with hitting the views and bringing people across.
They hit me
has he?
monetized straight away, but yeah, to the same extent is. But I think it's something to keep an eye on. It definitely intrigued me seeing that, and it's something to keep an eye on. And I understand 100% where he's coming from, because I think we've all maybe said that before. Like, Twitch is potentially in a position where it is getting stale at times, and
Yeah.
you see certain content creators get away with stuff, and other content creators like might get banned, and so what. So this kind of opens up some doors, and it's something to keep an eye on. But I don't think it's necessarily possible for everyone to be considering that switch over to YouTube
I think
No.
live streaming just yet.
ideally, yeah, go on.
Smaller content creators, personally, I think are definitely better off on Twitch
Yeah,
and using the YouTube for clips, gaming videos, whatever, till they build up a following on YouTube, and then maybe down the line when they start getting a bit bigger, make that switch and concentrate on the one platform. But I think as a small content creator, you've got to be going Twitch. I think it's the best for definitely small streamers.
Smaller. Depends
Mm.
what you're trying to get out of it. If you're trying to gain
Yeah.
something out of it in terms of like
Yeah.
a monetization point of view, or then maybe Twitch. But if you're just looking because you enjoy it and you just enjoy banging out content, maybe YouTube is actually the one for you, and that'll make this a quicker way to grow your whole YouTube content. So
Yeah, if you enjoy editing videos and stuff like that, definitely YouTube the way for that.
the thing is, it does make sense. Like, if you're already pumping out good quality videos, regardless, on YouTube, to stay on YouTube for your streams, because everyone that's already subscribed to you for the
Everyone watches
videos is already going to be watching you on the streams as well. But
Yeah.
I think it's harder to do it the other way around, where you start as a streamer and then you move into making like little videos and all that, because the quality of your videos is not going to be good enough to bring people in to just watch that, and then it's not going to transfer into your streams either, I think.
no.
But yeah,
Fair play. I think we'll leave that point there, because with this we'll definitely link into a lot of like what the podcast is about anyway this week as well. I'm sure there will be a lot of crossover points. But the next moment of the week then is, well, that was a poor roll, but it goes there. Parker.
My moment of the week has changed recently. It's a bit of a, I don't know, people might see it as a bit of a cop-out moment of the week, but for me it's a big thing, as I have recently quit smoking after 17 years.
Oh,
Which
yes.
is, it's a massive thing for me. I have so far gone a week without smoking. I've got this thing. It helps a lot.
What have you got? You got it on...
If anyone is trying to quit, I would advise going on a vape and not trying to just go full cold turkey. Because after the amount of years of smoking, it's hard. It is.
Is it not?
I was about to say, how are you feeling?
Not as bad as I thought it would be.
But
Not as bad as I thought it would be.
is it not more getting rid of the habit of smoking, as in? Because I've read somewhere that after the first two or 3 days of you like quitting full stop, your body doesn't actually need it anymore, and it's more like a psychological thing. Like whenever you've done.
Well, that's the thing with the vape. So it's just that it's a habit of doing that, taking a drag of a cigarette. Got the vape to sort of keep me busy with that. But apparently, I was reading into, it takes 21 days to fully get over an addiction. So the first 3 weeks. After that, it should be pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But we'll see. I've gone a week so far.
Good.
We'll see you in 3 podcasts then and see whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 5. So episode 5, we'll check in. How's
yeah,
it
and
going?
if I'm nipping out there for a fag, you know I failed.
That's fair.
But
That's
yeah,
a big step, though. That's a huge
It
step.
is, yeah, for me. Yeah, it's not a interesting moment of the week, but it's definitely a big one for me.
I think it's more of like that's a life-changing moment of the week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How is it on a low nicotine level? That and then
Yeah, I've dropped down massively. Like a lot of people who go on to vape from smoking normally go on 18 milligram vape. I've dropped straight onto 6, which is a massive drop. But
Fair
it's
play.
working at the minute, so I don't want to
That's the
go
main
putting
thing.
it up when I don't need to. So yeah, I'm just going to stick at it, see how it goes. Carry on with it.
Fair play. Episode 5, we will see. We will check back in.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
See how the week's going.
we'll
See how
see
the
the
week's going
decline.
work first.
Episode 3, his head's on the table. Episode 4, non-existent. Episode 5, back to happy at the back door again.
Just going through them stages, yeah. You'll see it.
No,
Might be
I expect to see some words of support. Words of support in the comments below. Keep Parker going. Keep him going
Yeah,
with some words of support.
that'd help a little bit, yeah. Yeah, so that's
I need to
my
make sure
moment.
nobody pings Discord while we're bloody doing this podcast because my laptop doesn't like it.
Neither does my ears.
I could just see the message slowly loading up across the screen. Okay, well, that's the life-changing moment of the week. Next up is not me. Is not
Not me.
Parker.
Dobbs.
It's me. Hello. So
Hello,
my
sir.
moment of the week is a YouTube versus TikTok boxing, which is going on the 12th of June, I believe, 2021. This is more reoccurring. It's been, well, I guess it's been happening for a long time. But yeah. So there's a few lineups, mainly American fighters. Well, not fighters, but what would you say? Enthusiasts.
Content creators, influencers.
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, I suppose. There's only 3 English influencers on the list. There's Tanner Fox versus Nick Austin, FaZe Jarvis versus Michael Lee, DDG, which is a rapper, versus Nate Wyatt. Not a clue who that is.
Not a clue.
Fans pick versus Taylor Holder, so it's a TikTok star versus. I believe it's going to be Anderson Gibb, if you know Anderson
Yeah.
Gibb.
Oh, he's the one that fought Jake Paul, is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
after like 30 seconds.
30-second crumble.
Even I could last longer than that, and I'm 5'9". Danny Duncan versus Fans Pick, which is a big American YouTuber. Deji, the one who also got beat by Jake Paul, versus Vinny Hacker. I've never heard of him. Austin McBroom, family YouTuber, versus Bryce Hall, TikToker. But the biggest one of all, which is happening April 17th, I believe, Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. It's gonna be a big fight. Ben Askren being a former MMA champion, so that should
That's gonna be a huge one.
That is going to be a big
the
one.
pay-per-view on that is going to be insane. It's going to be world breaking.
But yeah, because everyone wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out.
It's not.
Yeah, true.
Put your bets on right now. Who do you think's going to win?
Oh,
Ben Askren.
Yeah.
No,
you know
I disagree.
what? I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna have to go Jake Paul.
Same here. I have to go Jake Paul.
I'll explain why in a bit, but I would go Jake Paul actually.
Well,
I don't know, you know.
There's a difference between who I want and who I think.
Yeah.
I want Ben Askren to win.
I think I'm going with more who I want.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if we're doing bets here.
But the thing is, they're boxing as well, isn't it? As in,
Ben Askren isn't a boxer.
He's not a boxer, but he can take a punch, I guess. That's what it's
Masvidal. That it took him 1 knee.
Masvidal, bang on by Ben Askren.
Yeah,
who are you going with? Sparkle's on the fence.
I don't.
That's who Sparkle's going for. Way Masvidal. He's expected to walk in the ring during this fight. Need both of them. Oh god.
Well, Masvidal's been training Jake Paul, hasn't he? To try and knock him out in one punch if he can.
So, I just don't like who Jake Paul is as a person, because
A problem in China.
And the thing is, he's been calling out so many professional boxers that it's becoming kind of a joke, like just fighting him. Like he's been trying to call out Conor McGregor. He's got Floyd Mayweather that he's tried to call out as well. But for fucking Mayweather to come out of retirement to fight him,
he is fighting. He's fighting his brother.
Fighting his brother Jake, isn't
yeah, but
he's fighting Logan.
which I accept more than.
Yeah, but Logan's got more appeal to him.
Logan's
I think
just more sense about him now after that whole Japan incident.
he's changed as
He's
well.
a bit more screwed on. Yeah, I've actually come to enjoy him. Like he's actually a bit more sensible now.
This podcast is insane as well.
Well,
It's actually
funny you
pretty lit.
mention that because we have a special guest, Logan Paul. No, we don't. But funny you mention that because my reasoning for saying Jake Paul, so I don't want him to win. I think he'll win is because Ben Askren is actually a guest on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast last week. I think it's this week, maybe.
It was this week.
And Ben Askren literally says, like, I'm not a great boxer. I just do not believe he is a good boxer.
Yeah.
And I can take a punch. But if he's a good boxer, I'll probably lose the fight because I can't box. And it's like, oh, okay. And they're trying to hype him up in this podcast. They're like, try and sell the fight a bit. And he's like, no, I'll be straight up. Like, I'm not a boxer. I just really do not believe he's a good boxer. But if he is, he'll win the fight. I'll take a punch, but he'll win the fight. And I was like, oh, fair play. And you thought about it. He's been doing this for 3 years now, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's been fighting nobodies though. Like
no, agreed. And that's what that Ben Askren said as well. Like he has been fighting nobodies, but he's been training for 3 years. And if you train at something for 3 years,
you got good at it.
You're gonna know what
he's
you're doing.
obviously got a fighting background anyway. Like he had that stupid fight against that basketball player.
Yeah.
Who clearly has never been in a fight, took a punch to the face and regretted his decision to fight Jake Paul.
But do you know what puts me on the fence is that he didn't nearly lose to Deji, but he fought Deji and it was a close call. And everyone says that Deji's not even fucking properly trained for it. And he's just a normal guy, so how is a trained professional now gonna actually try to fucking knock him down and he's just gonna take the punches? I don't know.
I agree on the professional fighter thing, but then someone that I would say is, when I say it, you'll probably agree, is a professional fighter, probably one of the most experienced and probably one of the most dedicated in recent times, and yes, he just sells tickets, is Conor McGregor, who went and fought Money Mayweather, who trained his arse off for a year. He has so much experience, but went into that boxing ring and he looked out of his comfort zone. Like he did not look like a boxer.
He went up against the best fighter in that category.
He went against the best, but everything Conor McGregor was doing just didn't look right.
I get what you're saying. It's not his fault.
You can tell he's switched on a fighter. So I don't know. It'll be an interesting one. Like I look forward to it. Maybe we'll try. Oh no, we won't. No, we won't say that. I won't say that. I won't say that. Or maybe say it in the Discord. Who knows? But join the Discord down below. But who do you think? Who do you think in the comments below? Who's gonna win them? Who's gonna win these YouTube fights? Who's gonna win the Jake Paul Ben Askren one? Let's go with that one. I want to know who do you think is gonna win that one.
Do you know what?
Me?
No, everyone.
In
the comments.
Do you know what? I'm actually more looking forward to the Deji fight, just to see like if he. And I know like all the people from like around the Sidemen group are trying to hype him up to actually train for it, And if he actually puts the work in, I want to see how close he gets to like being a decent fighter. Because I know KSI's done bits, and surely with KSI now knowing everyone in that scene to like surround yourself properly and like get the proper training that you need, I feel like Deji could do bits, you know.
I think if he trains himself
Yeah.
properly,
If he gets in the right mindset and gets a good backing, yeah, I think he could do bits. And
But is he?
It's already been said. It's already been said that he has a better technical ability than his brother anyway. So
yeah.
But is he really
It's just more
gonna?
the drive. Has he got the drive for it?
Is he really gonna
Yeah.
go into a fight twice, not properly prepared, and lose twice just because you're not
Yeah.
training? I don't see that happening. You know?
You'd be stupid not to do it, really. Like, or if you don't prepare yourself. No, I think it'd be interesting to see. I just want to see where it goes, really. But I do think it's nice to see content creators getting some recognition for the work that they put in, because they're not half-hearting them. They're actually putting the work in for these events. So it's nice to see that they're getting recognition and people are actually up for taking the fights. But I do also think, like you've just named that card there, I think people are just getting into it for the sake of it, and I don't think people actually
The views.
understand what is involved,
yeah,
which is the iffy side of it. So if you're going to commit to it, great. But there's also like this is a whole TikTok,
Yeah.
the YouTube, like whether it's going to work out, we'll see. I don't know if it'd be like a phase like the whole YouTube rap battles and all of that went on 2017 or whenever it was. But yeah, it'd be good to see. Interesting.
definitely interesting.
But last but not least,
Right.
Sparko.
To me now, isn't it? I'm actually gonna share my screen with you lot. I'll put the
Nice.
video in on the YouTube video as well. Let me quickly get this up for you. There it is. Let's see. Wait. Open that. I'm just gonna run this. Can you guys see this? Yeah.
yeah.
Is this better? Wait.
Ish.
One sec. Me. Just gonna be like that. It's more. Wait. First, I'm gonna talk about this. So why I've picked this is because it's fucking insane, right? Basically, we're gonna be watching a clip. It's a solo player in a quads lobby, right? 3 of his teammates have died. I think there's about 15 people left, and it's most likely like the final zone that they're coming into. And all he's got coming into this is floor loot weapons, but I'm just gonna let you enjoy this. And there's actually a few things in this clip that I find mad, like things that I don't even think about, shooting through tents and all that. I'm just gonna let you see what happens. Look, he parachutes in, finds a shotgun, and he's already getting beamed here. He's one parachuting in, so he's coming in as well.
Getting beat.
How does he get out of that?
He's got two of them around him. Gets that guy. Picks up his loot. There we go. It's clipped in a bit. Picked up his loot. Sees a full team there. Takes a few shots down someone. Moves around. They know they have to be pushing into him because the zone's coming in. Gonna make use of the high ground there in a second as well. They're going in the tents. He's just beaming them through it.
That game sense is unreal.
Bang!
He
Uses the high
That
ground,
game.
jumping into it. Just shoots someone through the tent again. Blocks off that zone so they can't push up with the cluster. Gets a lucky down.
No.
Beams him through the tent again. and wins the game like that. Got one more. Waiting up for the last fight.
GG.
My days.
And I just find it mad. I came across this on Twitter, and there's so many things in that single clip that just proves like that the pro players are like on a different level than the rest of us.
No, I agree.
That's my man's sweating.
Just for a normal quads win.
Imagine, yeah, it's not even a tournament or anything.
I was going to say, was he not actually playing in a tournament or like that?
No. It's just him playing with his mates. But I need to find some people that can carry me through games like this. You know.
You're a cheek on this guy. Okay, man.
Imagine.
To be fair, his awareness then was just ridiculous.
I suppose it would be. He used to be a pro on Fortnite as well. He was a pro Fortnite player.
I think a lot of it comes down to you got to remember the way they play the games, which I think is the impressive thing. When we play the game, right, we probably don't take into consideration every single zone that we play. They know 90% of those zone rotations at all times. They've then played the game so many times that they know all these little angles. Like even that jump spot where he jumps next to the tent there, gets a shot off, then jumps back off to beat the guy on the high ground coming around the corner. It's just insane. It's a different level. They play at a different level.
Yeah, that's just it. You can just tell the amount of hours that he's put into the game to know all them little spots. Any part of the map, I bet he could do that. Any part of the map, know all them little jump spots like that where you can shoot for it. That's the difference between these top level players and obviously your average players. You just get beamed by people like that for fun.
Well, luckily I'm above average, quite high above average.
Genuinely, like you might not believe me, but that player right there, Cloaksy, has only started playing Call of Duty recently. He hadn't played it for a long time.
It's just because people like him, they've got that natural game sense. Like they don't have to think about what they're doing. They just know how to move around people and like get the top on people. And so why I've picked this is just because it was an impressive clip anyway. But I also wanted to do a little shout out to people that want to get their clips into the videos. Because if people get some banging videos like this, it doesn't have to be up to this standard because it's quite a high bar set there. But if you've got some banging videos, just send them to me on the Discord or even comment them on the video. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I think the best place to send them to us would be on the Discord, and we've got a little section for it anyway.
Or Twitter maybe.
Or even Twitter. But you'll find us anywhere.
I'll get yourself into Discord and get them in a clip of the month.
Yep. Any of those things.
Obviously, we can't have buy dobs every week.
Well, if you want to send in you some clips, I'll be happy to send them out.
I'm not even sure I've seen you on a positive KD in the last week.
That's a lie.
Ooh. Gulag King.
I haven't played in like a week, to be fair.
Gulag King.
Man's got gold rocks. He's been in the gulag that much.
Get in there. I think that's get in there. Clip of the month. That is the new addition to the Discord this month, actually. So yeah, that is a good point. Get them in there. Get in the clips of the month. You might find yourself in the podcast yourself. Might see yourself in there.
We've got 2 weeks left.
2 weeks, yeah. End of the month it'll be announced. Yeah. So just over 18 days, 19 days, something like that. I've forgotten what day it is today.
Do you know what? We'll put the clip of the month of the Discord in the podcast at the end of it anyway.
Yes.
Might as well.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be
Get some credits.
Yeah, that'll be actually clips of the month. That's where it goes. Obviously, we see clip of the month is a good way for everyone to like be able to share their content anyway. outside of just being live, it's another way for people to actually see what you do when you are live, because they might not have the time to watch your live stream, or they might not know to watch your live stream if they're short on time. They see your clip of the month, they see what you're offering. So another way would be, we'll get you whoever wins the clip of the month. They all potentially may have access to a little bot that's going to be on the Discord, so that's a little surprise. So definitely get yourself in the Discord so you can find out what that is. But also, winner of the clip of the month goes on the podcast once a month. That'll be put up there.
Yeah.
You get a little bit, your name on there, where it's from, and a bit of another way to get your name out there. But I think that's moments of the week. That is moments of the week covered. Who had the best one? I think I'm actually gonna go with Park having the best one there, because that's a big life changing one. Life changing. So you better keep with it for the next few weeks, because otherwise,
otherwise it's pointless.
It comes back to next week's back of being
I'm motivated this time. Motivated to do it. So I will.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I'll stick to it.
Boom. Well, guys, everyone that is listening, what are your moments of the week? Tell us. Put them below. We will pick out the best one. We'll pick out the best moments of the week as well. We'll throw that at the end. We'll try and cut down our moments of the week. We'll get a few of your moments in the week in there. We'll pick our favourites out from the list. Put it down there. Let us know what you think. But we are going to move on to the main topic of the podcast today, which is titled COVID-19 v content. Something that's very present for all of us at the moment, I'm sure. Something we've all been experiencing over the last year. And obviously, as we are on YouTube, we are providing content, and we're doing the podcast, which is content.
Is it really content?
Trying to be content.
Again, there.
But this is the COVID-19 v content. This is what the top of the podcast is, and we're going to go through bits and. So the main start is we'll start with a little bit about COVID. I don't want to go into too much detail on COVID, of course. A little bit in there. It's not an overly positive topic. It's a shit situation. If you have been affected by it, we are sorry. It's shit. We've all had to go through it. But we'll be short on this part, which is when it all started. Does anyone actually know when it all started? When it all kicked off?
When was it announced? January 2020?
January is like the date that it was officially announced.
Yeah.
Has anyone known when the first cases were coming through? Although there is a lot of.
There's a lot of different answers.
Early December, first cases.
Yes, so early December.
It was late 2019.
There's a lot of different cases, because there's even people that said actually there was a case in November, but it's whether it was actually put through as COVID or not, and obviously they didn't know because they weren't aware of it, so some was just put through as the flu. But officially, so we go with what the World Health Organization said on the 31st of December, they officially came out and said they were aware of an unknown cause of pneumonia cases in Wuhan City. So that was when it first came out there.
Yeah.
And on the 12th of January is when they actually identified it as, coronavirus at the time. And obviously, we all got the jokes of corona and don't go buy corona.
Yeah, that was all memes coming about with cases of corona and shit like that, wasn't it?
Do you know, over here, there's even been a promotion on beer where they had corona next to mort subite, which translates into French, saying direct death.
Oh.
And it was like a couples thing. Like if you got the code, you'd get the other one for free or whatever. And it was so mad that people went into that marketing wise. But I thought it was class.
There is some clever marketing at times, to be
Buy
fair.
some Corona and then get some direct death for free.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think even didn't actual Corona adjust some of their marketing
To be fair,
Corona, for COVID at some point.
Imagine if you're the guy working at fucking marketing for Corona for the beer. The day that fucking shit gets announced, you know your job's fucked. Like, how are you gonna recover from that?
Yeah,
I'm still drinking Coronas. So Parker.
I purchased a box of Corona straight away. I was like, bang, they're going down in price. That's my time to purchase.
exactly.
I wasn't
They
holding off.
lowered the prices because they weren't selling as much, so I was drinking more of it.
So I remember my 17th birthday. I went in and got 2 crates for like £24 or something.
Sorry, 17th. Oof.
Come on, guys.
What is the name of
Oh,
this
No,
local?
obviously parents were there, and all safety precautions were taken.
we do not condone underage drinking within this channel.
Legal
By
drinking age of
now,
16, you know. You could have
Not
gotten away with it.
alcohol at the age of 17.
Parents were there.
Okay, it's acceptable. It's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
But we had 12th of January is the day that actually got announced as coronavirus and identified for everyone. And the 22nd of February is when they came out with the first global tally. Over 109 million cases had been diagnosed at that point. So it was a bit crazy, to be honest, how quickly it spread. But then everyone was still traveling at that time. The bit is interesting, and I think it is going to lead into and affect kind of the content side of what we're going to be talking about, is actually when the lockdowns begun. We're going to go with 2 lockdowns, I think. We would have gone into the third, which might have been the US side. But to be honest, US lockdown has been literally all over the place, state dependent. So it's very hard to kind of narrow down which one we're actually going to speak about. And there was also someone in office at the time that might not have believed in COVID, Mr. Donald.
Yeah.
Donald Duck.
The China
There he
virus.
is. Oh, idiot. China. That's all I remember. But we're going to stick with what the UK lockdown is, because that is where 3 of us are from, and the Belgian lockdown. So I obviously have the dates. When is the UK lockdown? Or when was the first UK lockdown? Not the second one, third one. When was the first one?
23rd of March.
Bang on. Straight away. I'm sure you knew, because it probably affected your work that day.
It actually, my work got better. It did. The first lockdown was the toughest restrictions, and it was. It was shit for everyone. It was shit, but I'm not gonna lie, it was great for me. It was. I carried on working as normal, got paid extra for it. The roads were quiet. Being a truck driver, it was great.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's when people actually stayed inside as well.
Yeah, because on that lockdown, it was like I would drive down the motorway 9 o'clock in the morning, and all I'd see is trucks.
Of course, sticking to 70 miles per hour as well, I'm sure.
56, mate, in a truck. Come on.
Oh, there we go.
56.
A little bit of knowledge there.
Yeah, but it was, for me, it was great. I know it's a shit time, but it was, being a truck driver, it was great. But that's when people actually listened to the restrictions.
Literally the first lockdown is the only time I actually remember. I'll be honest, I don't remember half the people actually listening at that point. I knew loads of people that weren't listening, but there was a lot more that were not trying to push the boundaries and find ways around the rules.
I mean, up in the northwest and that, you had towns that it was like ghost towns. You could literally drive through and not see one person. It was crazy. It was kind of surreal. It did seem like something off a movie.
Walking
The
Dead.
apocalypse. It's
Honestly,
The Walking Dead, actually.
I can remember one of the days I was driving through Chester. Driving through Chester, right through the centre, through all the retail parks and all that. And I tell you what, mate, it was surreal. I didn't see one person walking about, no cars. It was just me on the road. Crazy. And that's when you kind of realise how you kind of realise how serious this thing was when you sort of seen that thing going on. Whereas a lot of people just ignored it, but
now, the last 2 lockdowns they definitely have. So I think traffic increased somehow. Traffic increased in the second and third lockdown more than usual.
It's mad.
Well,
that's because schools opened. That's why there were more safety precautions. So
the last lockdown we had, you wouldn't be able to tell that we went into lockdown.
No,
it was
not this last one. This January one.
Apart from certain shops and pubs being closed, you would not know that it was locked down.
No, everyone's still driving around. I knew people seeing everyone, and
yeah,
I've got this support bubble here, but I've also got this support bubble here. Oh, and I've got this support bubble here, and I've got this support bubble here. So you've got 20 support bubbles then. Okay.
He's with him, he's in our bubble. He's with him, he's in our bubble. It's people just
mix and match.
Yeah. I just think it's mad that shit is slowly starting to reopen over at your side of the pond, whilst over here it's becoming even worse. Like
Europe, it's starting to close back down again. Well, so when was the first lockdown in Belgium?
It was in the March as well. I don't know the exact date, but I still remember the day that they announced it at work. Because the thing is, like, there was an increase in cases in Belgium as well, but everyone was still in that stage where everyone thought it was just like a bit of a worse variant of the flu. So people didn't really think of it as like something that you should be aware of or like be cautious of. But the thing is, as soon as like shit was kind of starting to spread, some of my work colleagues actually started going up to the management saying like, yeah, but I don't feel safe at work anymore. And then as soon as the managers turned their backs, they were like, yeah, mate, this is the perfect opportunity to start working from home, innit?
Let's do it.
Yeah. And little did they know, like a year later, they'd still be at home. It's so dull working from home that whole time. Oh, we've lost someone.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Returned.
Sorry, yeah, phone just had a bit of a hissy fit.
But I think it's mad, like, to think of the fact that I've now been working from home for a full year. I've not seen my colleagues in time. And it's so dull not being able to see anyone. Because me and my girlfriend actually made the decision to actually like keep to all of the restrictions and all that, and not go out in the weekend seeing people or seeing like little small bubbles. Like literally, the only people that we see are our parents, and that's it. And it is getting so shit. Like, I feel like everyone in Belgium here is now getting tired of having to keep to the restrictions, and that's why it's not as effective anymore. But yeah,
I think that's what we've had here in this lockdown, where people are tired of doing it.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's also giving us time to get the vaccinations out and potentially solve it, mate. Not solve it, but obviously slow things down and be able to handle it better now going forward. And plus, it's hitting summer. Whereas I feel like yourself in Belgium and a lot of Europe, like Spain's gone into lockdown, Italy's gone into lockdown, parts of France are now going into lockdown. They're all like, well, we haven't locked down for the first 3 months of the year 2021, but now we're a bit screwed.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, really.
But the thing is, I'd rather go into like a harsh lockdown like I think they've done it in China as well, where they've basically just said like everyone has to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Like, there's no valid reason that you should be on the street. And if people did it like that, there would be a lot less cases. But now everyone kind of does what they want, and it's not as effective because people don't give a
It's
fuck.
funny
Like,
you mention China though, because like I've seen a general list of lockdowns across the world and how it kind of started around the February period and then just kind of like filtered in country by country. China though, and I didn't I obviously probably did actually know, but I didn't realize it until now when you're actually looking at everything side by side. Is that China never went obviously into a national lockdown or anything. All they ended up actually doing was purely a localized lockdown around Wuhan city.
yeah,
It never went past Wuhan city, but that shows you, like you're saying, that harsh lockdown. Like everyone thought, oh, it's so look out, it's horrible. You're treating people like inhumanely and stuff. They locked down a city and stopped all cases. Like
well,
not all of them, but compared to everywhere else, if you look at the numbers, like we always thought,
yeah, but you gotta
the numbers were
remember,
going like 10,000 something.
it's China, and like
Yeah, that's true as well.
how many of those numbers are just not being
Well, yeah, how many have not been shared?
yeah.
But
So
Well, that's
they didn't go
same
into that
over here,
full
that
lockdown though.
same over here with the numbers. Because through the first lockdown, obviously Emma's a nurse, isn't she? So through the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
lockdown, they never did a post-mortem on any
Any
deceased.
bodies, they put it through
No.
as like
They just put it straight through. Anyone that died during the first lockdown, pretty much just went down to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Every single person. So that obviously pushed numbers up for quite a lot.
Yeah.
Which it's you're not going to get an actual figure of the amount of
No,
cases
there
or
will be
deaths
a
that actually
there
come
would
around
definitely
of
be an
it.
investigation.
Yeah, because Emma was telling me, she's like, it's mad because they don't do post-mortems during that time. They just put everything down to COVID-19.
This is an
Just
inside scoop here, by the way.
Yeah, just to restrict any further spread of it. Don't
Yeah.
deal with the bodies that come in. Put it down to COVID-19 and that's it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy when she was telling me because she was working on ICU at the time. Just nuts. Yeah, it was mad. So you don't actually get an actual figure of what the deaths are over that period.
No, it's a hard thing to track of, and I'm sure there is going to be a lot of investigation going on globally into a lot of procedures that countries have used and how they've dealt with it, and yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a hot topic for the next 5 to 10 years. I know it sounds stupid, but it's obviously such a major life-changing event to lock down the world for pretty much a year. So
yeah.
it's gonna be going on for a while. You'll hear investigations and all of that. But on a positive, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, on a positive note, but in a different way, media consumption has changed a lot.
A lot.
We obviously know the content creation, streaming, like live stream side of it, or people that are watching this, or us ourselves having streamed and creating YouTube videos and TikToks and that we'll all be aware of that. But media consumption on the whole increased for everyone, obviously, during this period. An insane amount. Like I'll go through some basics. I'll go through some basics and then I'll ask you to see what you think. But adults spent roughly 40% of their waking hours during the first lockdown. This is so we're talking that March to May period, that 2-month period. During that period, 40% of the waking hours, so nearly 6.5 hours every day in front of a screen. Subscription services doubled during this time, so Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, stuff like that. They all doubled, and there were 12 million new users that had never even subscribed to a service before signed up for it. they were watching that about an hour and 11 minutes per day.
Light
So
work.
it is a big increase. Like work. I'm thinking I've done
Hey,
that
mate.
today.
I got out of bed, turned my Xbox on, that rate.
I did it pre-COVID. I'll do it post-COVID. Just an hour. That's one show. But it's still a big increase from what it was. So before that, the average per day was around 26 minutes. So to go from 26 minutes to an hour and
Holy-
11 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what people are. People are watching half an episode, not even
Did
that.
you
At
like
time.
watching some cartoonated Mr. Bean or something? Fucking 20-minute episodes.
Maybe, I'm guessing people have just not got time. But globally, let's go with the global. I'll ask what you would think, or who do you think the biggest increase is in terms of their median consumption, the number of times spent in front of the screen? Who do you think which country has increased the most during
Like,
this?
you're talking countries or you're talking like ages?
Countries. Because ages, I'll tell you, ages. The actual biggest increase was the 21 to 35 5-year-olds. They had the biggest increase. And then behind that were the younger generation, like 12 to 18. But no, countries. Which country would you think? I was honestly surprised. So let me just put that in there. So maybe it would make you think outside the box a bit more. But what country moved towards the top on the number of hours that they spent watching per day?
Is it gonna be like Vatican City or something?
No, that would have been an interesting one.
It's not enough people there.
Do you know what we can do? Bang, let's get unnamed.
Actimel.
Okay, Parker. Just name the
remember-
country, do you think?
I remember seeing something like this, and
Oh,
it
no,
was,
he's
it
cheated.
was unexpected. No, I'm not cheated.
No.
I'm going to go for an odd one and just say something like Ukraine.
Okay. That's not a bad one. Anyone else?
You know what?
Dobbs? Not Sparkle, because Dobbs is shaking his head, and I really want to just get him to say.
You see, I was at Spain.
If you say Essex, I'm cutting you off the call now.
No,
'cause
I would have
Essex
said Bradford, mate. No. No, I would have said Spain or Italy because they had like the harshest lockdown like system, right? Like no one were allowed in, no one were allowed out. They were all locked in.
Italy is within the top 3 groups, yes.
Yeah, I would have said Spain.
So fair play, not bad. Sparkle, do you want to throw a little guess in there? Even though we put Parker first, but
I don't. The thing is, you say it's an odd one, and when I think of the hardest working people in the world, I think of the Germans. Because
okay.
they're like well known for like working all the time. So imagine they get time off. They're gonna be on the internet. My answer's gonna be Germany.
Okay.
Have I banged
Not
it?
Germany.
Oh shit.
No. Not
Who were the
Germany.
closest?
Well, technically, you in terms of the fact. So I've got 3 groups here. So there's 2 countries at the top,
Wow.
and then there is 5, 6 countries that are in the 3rd group. You got Italy that was in that group, but that you weren't necessarily the closest in that sense, though. So Bulgaria, Italy, Croatia, USA, Cyprus, Slovenia, and Hungary were in that 3rd group, roughly at just over 6.5 hours. So just 20 minutes more than the UK. So we're not far off ourselves. Greece came in at 2nd place with 6 hours and 45 minutes of watch time a day. And now at the top, so geographically speaking, actually, no, do you know what? It is close between both Dobbs and Parker, geographically speaking. If someone wants to give me the exact distance between Italy and that at some point, someone can put it down. At the top was Serbia. Serbia was at the top 7 hours 45 minutes viewing time, nearly 8 hours of viewing time a day.
That's
That's
a
light work,
lot.
mate. Nah, it's light work, that.
No, but you
Yeah,
got to think of it
what-
being average, like average 7 hours.
That's an average.
So
So there's
there's
probably someone.
But I was doing that a day though.
Yeah, but
During
you-
that first lockdown, I'd have my Xbox on this one, my Netflix on this one, and that was me done for the day. That was it.
but
And it
this-
was
Yeah,
on
but
all day.
you would be the person at the top end.
Mm.
So for them to average out at 7 hours 45 minutes.
Yeah, average out. Yeah, big that. I knew it was going to be one of them different obscure country from your norm. Not like because most people just go straight up or USA or obviously.
USA was going to be one of my top ones, in all honesty. USA would have been
Yeah,
one of my top
well,
But
I
ones.
was going to say that, and then I just thought, I'll go something completely different because
they've
remember
already
actually
got a lot of
seeing
watch
some
time,
of
don't they?
Theirs didn't actually change that much, to
Yeah.
be fair.
I can imagine.
Yeah, Italy had one of the biggest increases in terms of what they were before. They had 180% increase in the number of hours watched. So big change for them, because I feel like, yeah, well, there we go. It's just a big change for them. So Dobbs said Italy, not bad on that one, and they were again one of the like stricter ones. Yeah, that's it. You can see there's a general trend of media consumption going up, and that's with the general public. So we're just talking like the average time, the average person, the average adult. There is a general increase within numbers, which leads us to content creation and the live streaming numbers, or what it has. How has it increased there? For example, what are the platforms we've got? What are the platforms that we're live streaming on? What are the platforms that we're putting content creation on?
So you've got Twitch, Facebook,
Twitch, bang.
Facebook, Mixer, YouTube,
Makes it no longer a thing. It's been shut
but
down.
it was at the time.
Was it? I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
yeah.
should done before. Oh.
No, Mixer was a thing at the time of lockdown. Yeah, they were like the biggest ones. I mean, obviously TikTok blew up massive during lockdown.
TikTok's increased a lot. Instagram, I would argue.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you put a cap on content creation though. Like it can become from anything. Snapchat,
it can.
you could say that's a form of content creation. If you put in
Is it
Snaps,
safe to say that social media in general is a form of, not form of, but social media is the platform for any form of content creation to come about. So therefore, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, because you can create music,
Yeah.
still content.
Yeah,
Even
Podcasts that
podcasts.
come through. Yeah, podcasts. We're on one at the moment. We'll. I'm trying to think what other platforms have we got. I feel like I'm missing out some obvious ones. Where am I? Well, obviously Mixer is one we'll talk about having shut down as well, but I can't think of it. Can anyone think of any more? Snapchat.
Was that
Dobbs, have you not said
subscribe?
Snapchat?
I did say Snapchat.
it did say Snapchat.
Oh, my bad. I
There's a
blanked
subscribe
out.
section on Snapchat
Yeah, it did
where you
say
can
Snapchat.
see content. It's a bit like YouTube Shorts.
Okay, well, fair play then. But all of that, so all of those social media platforms have provided people with a place to create content. Actually, I've even got a figure here. I don't know why I've picked out Snapchat specifically. We go with Facebook first as an increase. Facebook actually increased their messaging service by more than 50%, and group calling during that lockdown increased by 1,000%.
But
Crazy.
isn't that because in the first lockdown everyone was going crazy over like phoning all their mates, doing little mukbangs or whatever?
Mukbangs.
I mean, like
Food.
there was
Who
basic.
remembers House Party? Do any of you remember that House Party
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
around
that-
for like a
that
month
house
or two?
party app or whatever it was.
I didn't touch
Oh,
that. I did not touch that.
it was my biggest regret downloading it because every few seconds it would be like, Johnny has started a house party. Celia has started a house party. Jesse has started. It's like, oh my god, seriously.
There's a big thing about house party taking.
Facebook gaming, I think, at the time as well was one of the biggest ones to actually take off over the first lockdown, because it wasn't that big, Facebook gaming, was it? Compared to
Facebook
YouTube
gaming.
and Twitch. But
that
from what I read,
a lot.
from March and April, Facebook gaming actually had a 72% growth during March and April, which was massive for them. It put them literally the highest growth of streaming platform over that period, which is massive. And then that's where obviously shutdown of Mixer come into it, wasn't it?
Mixer has linked into that now, yes, as well.
Yeah, because Facebook, I believe, bought out Mixer.
I think it was
lockdown.
So Microsoft.
They've partnered. They partnered with.
Microsoft
Facebook.
had a plan to move in with Facebook Gaming, and therefore made the decision at that point to actually close down Mixer, because I believe it was, I think it's Phil Spencer was the head of gaming for Mixer, right? And he said at the time when he was doing it, he said that they started so far behind in terms of where like their monthly active viewers were compared to some of the bigger players out there, and that Facebook had seen such a huge increase, especially during that first lockdown, that it actually made sense for them to make that decision to combine or just to take over and therefore remove and shut down Mixer. And which is why all Mixer partners actually were offered the opportunity to become affiliated or partnered on Facebook. I don't know what it's called.
Whatever it is, yeah.
I just don't think Mixer was ever a viable platform. Like, it was so artificially created to be the next new Twitch, but then if you think of a live streaming platform, the first thing that comes to mind is Twitch, and that's probably not going to change for the foreseeable future. So buying some big names and trying to get your name out there is probably not going to change it unless you're doing something for like the smaller content creators.
Yeah.
Well, because who did they get? They got
Shroud and Ninja, innit?
Yeah, they had Shroud and Ninja. Yeah.
Then there's like £60 million in deals or something like that.
Something stupid.
Yeah.
And I swear they didn't even get paid the full amount, because they didn't go over to Facebook Gaming, did they? They went straight back to Twitch.
Yeah, but they got a few millions in their bags.
They still got like easily like 10-15 mil each, regardless.
Yeah, wouldn't you be annoyed about not fulfilling like the same? Well, the amount the deal.
They've earned more than they ever would have. Well, I don't know, but they earned more from the deal alone. Remember, this was only a deal on the contract. They then earned money from people subbing and donating on top of that. So that's like, I agree, it would probably be annoying in terms of them breaking the contract, but at the same time, they've basically gone, bring everyone that loves you over here. They'll continue donating and subbing to you anyway, but we'll just add on 20 mil on top of that if you want it as a bonus. It's like,
just as a bonus.
Yeah, 20 mil. Okay.
Yeah. Then again, I do think their numbers were down though. Like, because people couldn't be bothered switching platforms.
I find it. So, for example, if away from Mixer, YouTube Gaming, right? I'm sure we've all known a few people that have streamed on YouTube Gaming and Facebook Gaming, or Facebook, whatever the platform. I don't know, it's Facebook Gaming.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't watch them. Even people that I know, because I'm just not sat on that platform. I'd never go on there. I'll go out my way maybe sometimes, right, to go and put their stream on, but I'm not staying on it.
But
'cause
the
I'm
thing is, as
busy.
well, you can't really like browse for a stream. Like you'd already have to know that this specific person is going to be live streaming, and then you tune in for that.
Yeah,
Like there's no overview page or whatever. So if you're bored of that one specific streamer, you're just gonna click Twitch and watch someone else.
yeah, unless you're subscribed. That's the thing. When Harris Heller he was doing the whole announcement earlier about him moving to YouTube, I was thinking the first thing was I was like, okay, let me look at just how YouTube streaming is, because I've never, like you said, I've never gone and browsed. And I'm there and I'm going through and I'm like looking at YouTube gaming, and it's not in the YouTube gaming section. Then I realize there's like a YouTube live section. And then you go to YouTube live and it gives you like 7 recommended videos and then like 10 previously live people.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And I'm like, what? How the hell am I supposed to find anything? And it's the same with Facebook. I don't know if I'm not even bothered looking at how Facebook works. But like you said, if it's not someone that you know, that's not to say maybe that is a major way they could improve it, and then who knows, maybe there would be a big jump across in that sense. I don't know. Would any of you ever move to a different platform for
I
streaming,
wouldn't
for
go.
not
I wouldn't
for
go
other stuff?
Facebook. I wouldn't go to Facebook gaming. YouTube maybe, if obviously it got to that stage where you could bring quite a lot over with you. But no, I think I'd probably stick for live streaming. I'd just stick with Twitch. I think
Mm.
it's. I like the layout on Twitch.
It
Live
feels like the
streaming.
most
I think
user friendly.
Yeah. Well, I know on Facebook, look, it's easier for console players as well for Twitch, because if you were to try and create a Facebook gaming with just a console, you can't, because you can't stream on Facebook unless you go to Streamlabs or OBS.
Oh, okay.
So you can't stream direct from your console to Facebook, which quite a lot of people, majority of people who stream, just starting off, small content creators, are going to stream direct from console.
Yeah.
So Twitch, to me, is the easiest way, because you can just link your Twitch with your console, easy. Same as YouTube, though, you can link YouTube to your console to stream. But the Facebook gaming, I mean, they might add it in down the line. They might add that in, but no, personally, I wouldn't. It seems too much of a ball ache to go around it to get on it, and I'm not overly keen on the layout.
UPC boys have it good.
Personal opinion.
What do you say, Doms?
I said UPC boys have it good.
Weird. I'm chilling.
Oof,
I
got a
think
nice
YouTube's
PC.
one I would keep an eye on. I'm not sure I would move there yet.
Are you still considered a PC gamer?
I don't even know. I'm gonna pretend that's not directed at me.
To be fair, no. To be fair, it would be kind of good, right? If you got really, really good on mouse and keys on PS4, and like you made it on that, like you've been known as like a god. Play on like what 60 FPS with.
I can't deal with it.
With 90 or whatever it is, or 60.
It annoys me playing with
FOV.
Sparkle, and he goes, "Can you not see that guy in the window?" I'm like, I can't even see the house. I'm looking at the ground. How are you seeing the house? I can't see it on this bloody FOV. Absolutely useless FOV on there.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
FPS. You're lucky if I can
Unbelievable,
make
Jeff.
out. I can make out a house. I can just about see the whole of downtown in 1 pixel. Big blur.
It's not that bad.
No, I know it's not. It's not that bad, but it is. It's noticeably bad for me. But it's not too bad. But I don't think I would move necessarily.
Well, you don't
But
have a
how's
choice.
COVID affected it? How's COVID affected streaming? What are the good side?
Streaming?
What's the good side of COVID?
Obviously,
What's the good and streaming?
as we spoke about before, your general media consumption's gone up massively, and that's going to obviously go towards streamers as well. If you look from, I think, stats when I was looking for general media consumption, in February it was at something like 42 billion or something like that, and then come April it was at 60 6 billion people watching streams or just and general media. It's massive,
that
massive
period.
streamers. Yeah, over just that short period, it jumps up that much.
Do you know what I will say on that topic though? I feel like during the whole COVID period, there's been like an artificial inflation of like all the numbers and all that, and there's a lot of people that are good content creators because they were banging it when everyone was at home and I was actually watching them, but I feel like in the last month I've seen at least 30 people writing a message about they're quitting streaming. They're not enjoying it anymore because they've not got the viewership that they used to have and all that. And I'm thinking like, yeah, but this is now going back to reality. You're still having, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 viewers. 10, 15 viewers is already like above average anyway. Like,
I think it's the top 1%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think if you average 70, I think you average 16. No, it might be 14 actually. I think if you average 14, you're in the top 1%.
But I feel like that little period of time, which was so inflated compared to like normality, kind of made streamers appreciate their viewers less. Because now they're coming back to normal numbers and they're thinking, oh, there's only 10 people watching me. Like, what's the point anymore? But if you think of it, like, there's 10 people standing behind you looking at you playing a game. 10 people's a lot. Like, my room would be filled with people.
Tapping you on the back, yeah.
I don't think I'll fit 10 people in my room.
All on your bed, mate.
That's why you don't get 10 viewers.
Oh,
Mum, I need a bigger room. I need a bigger room.
I'm only messing, Dobbs.
So
I can't say anything. You're the only one that's actually streaming at the minute. But yeah, I know what you mean with that, Sparkle.
I think we've seen the biggest increase, but like you said, yeah, it's just the problem is there has been and there is going to be a lot more of a drop off, more than people realise. Like they think it's dropped off at the moment, it will drop off more.
You're going to see it more again after obviously today, especially with UK streamers.
Yeah.
You're going to see it today after everything's opened back up. There's going to be a big drop in numbers again.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's summer.
It happened when the lockdown ended last year. Was it June? When they sort of opened the internet again a bit. There was a massive drop then.
Yeah.
Massive drop in numbers then.
Do you know what the weirdest thing is? Again. With Stego TV, I feel like we've always done the best streams during the summer. Like our best periods have always been over the summer period.
It's always been June, July. June, July. But going back to like 2013.
Yeah.
Like we've had on and off moments a lot. Breaks of a few years because of technical difficulty. But that's always been the busy periods.
I feel like every time we start building some traction, your PC goes for 6 months. And we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Well, officially 3 months at the
moment. You're getting back into it, properly sorting out the actual dual stream and that, weren't you? Just because the PC had a thing.
And that's actually where it went wrong. Bloody Warzone update came in for Halloween, and then my PC just fell. Oh.
Do you know what's mental? Like going back to the note of 2013. I didn't even know what streaming was. Like, I weren't that interested in games or anything. And now we're sat here in a Discord call, filming a podcast.
So you were about 9
I was 9. I was 9 years old. I didn't have a clue what streaming was or anything. How mental is that? Like, that is...
They didn't even have electricity when Parker was 9, so...
That is outrageous. That is outrageous, Parker.
I'm not even that old.
You keep on telling yourself that, mate.
He still runs like he's 22, don't you, Parker?
Still run like an 18.
Aren't you
or
two having a
18.
race? Aren't you two having your race
Yeah.
once your knees sorted?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
cool,
should be
yeah.
like 4 more weeks before I can. Well,
Big-
hopefully
That is why over the next 4 weeks I'm going in the gym and just hitting nothing but cardio.
That's why he stopped smoking. I knew it.
This is it. I've stopped smoking, I've stopped drinking, I'm getting back in the gym. Dobbs, you are getting destroyed.
Big
Right.
Dobber v Rochdalian Ramos. Fuck these
The
YouTube
Rochdalian
v
Ramos.
TikTok boxing events. It's gonna be racing from now on. But I think
Yeah.
any other like pros that have come in, any other good things that have come in from COVID. I'm trying to think in terms of streaming. I'll name one actually. Is sponsorships and established media outlets, established companies, established personalities, whether it be celebrities, stars, all of them is actually brought a big light to streaming during this COVID event, this COVID situation. And I think if you see a lot of like sponsorships at the moment, sports, for example, closed down, right? Over the whole of COVID, you had football closed down. You had all live music events and everything. So they've had to now find different avenues to get their content out. So you started getting a lot more esports organizations getting involved. Like NASCAR have recently set up their esports. You've got the FIFA esports organization being set up and being linked with actual clubs. So like Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, I think United. They've all got an esports team now as well. You've got different organizations that are doing branding deals with some of these big streaming or these big streamers as well, because they can't get out their product any other way. If nothing's open, how are you going to market your product? And they've turned to like live streamers and content creators, and you're seeing like some big brands actually do big deals with these content creators, and I think that's actually a huge plus, and I think it will open a lot more avenues going forward actually. Now that it has happened, I think you'll see it a lot more often, that a lot more companies are aware of it. And I think you've seen, for example, the Sidemen, for example, if you look lockdown, and even prior to the lockdown though as well, and through this like kind of boxing period with like YouTube v these professional boxers, is the fact that they're actually getting noticed and people want to be on YouTube channels and they want to be a part of it. They want to get themselves out there on this platform because it's that big. But I think that's a huge positive.
You started seeing some the famous people actually come to streaming on Twitch as well.
Who we had? Yeah, so who's come in? T-Pain.
You've got Hathor Johnson, World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
He's now streaming on Twitch. You've got Jay out of In Between Us.
Completely.
He streams.
Wasn't even Neymar doing streams at some point?
Neymar,
doing
Aguero.
Fortnite
I
or
was
whatever.
about to say that Neymar as well. He was streaming.
Aguero streaming as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't he using his Player of the Month or whatever trophies to hold up his little webcam for his PlayStation or something?
Yeah. I saw that. He's got like a stand of like 4 of them, and he's like, I'll use this one just to hold up my webcam. And then you had Jack Black, who's Jack Black YouTube channel.
He's arguably
not streaming.
already been a YouTuber though. Like,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then it's just the fact that even like it's people like that have even started like realizing, do you know what, the way to actually get in touch with people nowadays is YouTube, Twitch, these streaming and these content creation platforms. What's his name? I'm trying to think what his name is. Someone else say something, and I'm very quickly going to look up what his name is because it's going to annoy me otherwise. He's a huge star. He does stuff like Here Comes. It's not a great film, but it just reminds me because I just saw it on Netflix. Here Comes the Boom. I don't know if you know that film. I will tell you, Kevin James.
Yeah, that's
Kevin
the one.
James.
He does that fucking.
He has a YouTube channel that he started up in COVID, where what he's got like dubbing equipment, and he basically pretends to be the audio guy in all these films, and he green screens himself into these films holding like an audio mic boom.
Oh, what?
And he then basically follows like whatever this clip of the film is. So it could be like The Godfather or something, and he's got like a scene of The Godfather, and the film continues to go, but what he does in between is he says his pieces and like makes out that he's telling them to do something like audio wise. So he's like, "Hey, can you just speak up a bit?" And he's like, "You want to say hello to my little friend?" He's like, "No, you're not your little friend. I'm saying talking to my mic boom." And it's just stupid. But it's someone like that. He's a Hollywood star that's got into lockdown and gone, I'll create a YouTube channel.
I'm gonna make some stupid videos on YouTube, and
yeah, and it's massive. It's doing incredibly well now. So it's just things like that. I think it's a huge
definitely a huge positive towards content creation. Anyway, definitely. What about the cons?
I've got
Cons of COVID.
a
Sparkle's
controversial
covered
one.
that big one. And
Wait,
I've
what?
gone.
Go
What's
again?
the controversial? No, you already mentioned there's going to be a big drop off.
Yeah. Do you know what? Because of streaming becoming so popular now, I feel like it's a new phenomenon of those hot tub streamers. So it's basically just women in a little hot tub. They sit there, they wait for people to sub, to write their names on their arms or whatever, and then they inconspicuously stand up to reach for something. And it's so bait, like, and I'm not saying that like each to their own and like you can make a living however you want, and I'm not even looking down on it, because in the end you'd be dumb not to do it. But I just don't think Twitch is the platform for that kind of stuff, because you've got well, you could argue that every one of those channels has like a little disclaimer on there saying like they're not providing content for children or whatever. But you've got your 11-year-old, your 12-year-olds going onto Twitch to watch, for example, Ninja. I don't even know if he's still on Twitch anymore, but let's say Ninja to watch Fortnite. They're one click away from going to the now chatting category, and I guarantee you, within the first 10 channels that you find, there's at least 7 or 8 of them just women sat in a fucking hot tub. And I don't know, I don't feel like Twitch is the platform for that. I think there's other websites where that kind of content works a lot better.
Down below. Down below is a list of the website.
I agree it being a controversial point, because I do agree Twitch isn't the platform.
But you can't blame the people for doing it.
I don't blame the people for doing it. Where I also point out, and it's something that I thought about recently when I saw it, is that I see a lot of people talking about it, and like we're talking about it, I see a lot of people moaning about it and saying it's ruining them, it's ruining their chances as a content creator, which is where I disagree.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, say for example, we've all streamed loads of games, and there's going to be loads of games in the future that we're going to stream. But let's just pick Warzone, because that's one that we all know and we all have streamed. Our streaming Warzone and the audience that we're going to get from people watching Warzone is never going to be the audience that Miss Hot Tub streamers take in. Which is
they
why
might
I
do.
Find it.
They might do on the later hours, but
well, maybe in the late. Don't stream late. Don't stream late because everyone's going to Hot Tub. But those ones, in all honesty, they're not stealing your audience, because the audience that they're taking, the ones that have specifically gone on to Twitch for that reason. In all honesty, knowing that there is a lapse in judgment in that sense, that they have. There's even people that they've banned for minor like revealing of certain areas of their body, whereas these like there are rules, there are terms and conditions that say you have to have clothing on. Wearing a bikini
I don't get.
obviously
I don't.
obviously breaches it, but because they are partnered and they're bringing in, like, let's
Yeah.
be honest, they're bringing
They're
in a
bringing in
lot
money.
of money.
But the thing is,
That is it.
I don't get how you can get away with, because we can say it like the titty streamers that have been banned from normal channels where they've actually been playing games and like actually been live streaming. They're getting rid of that
Yeah.
kind of content, but then a woman sitting in a hot tub in their bikinis.
It's perfectly acceptable.
How is that? Because there's no other content. That's the content. It's purely that. And I
Do
don't.
you see? I disagree.
I don't know what.
I
How?
have to disagree because I'm not. Men can sit there in their shorts in a pool and it'd be perfectly fine. Why can't a woman sit in a bikini?
I would even say that you could get banned off Twitch for sitting in your shorts.
Yeah, I would argue men or women. It's just that because I don't really see any men sitting in the hot tub on Twitch.
Maybe,
I would argue
maybe there's
I
a
would do a
gap
hot tub
waiting
on
to be
stream,
filled.
maybe there's a gap in the market, dolls.
No, there is males that do that. They'll, like, if you look at Karina Koff, I think that's her name, and Aiden Ross, they do hot tub streams and stuff like that all the time. They're two big content
I've not
creators
seen that, to be fair.
in America. One used to be with a FaZe member, FaZe K, if you know who FaZe K is. That's
yeah.
they do it all the time. Like, she does do
Fair
it.
play.
Yeah, she's very like eye appealing, but I don't know. I feel like if a woman can do it, then so can a man.
I think do you know what the bigger problem is? And unfortunately, it does come from these hot tub streamers. Is that because they do push the boat? They push the boat, I think. But the problem is they cause too much of a problem for those women that are actually creating content. Like, there are a lot of women that create content that have they don't even give a like, they're not there to show themselves off physically, but because they might have, I don't know, let's say something stupid, they got like they've got a vest on or something, and they're like, oh my god, you're using your body to sell your stream. They're not. And actually, if you watch some of their stuff, like, there's people that we know that create some incredible content, but unfortunately, there's other people that maybe take advantage and push things too far, and therefore everyone has a bit of a distaste towards those smaller streamers, especially people that are starting up. It's easier to just kind of jump on them and abuse them and be like, oh, you're taking advantage of being a female when they're not. But it's that point that I made, like, at the end of the day, the content that they're making is not stealing from your Warzone content, because I'm not gonna watch that content. I'll watch the Warzone content, or I'll watch the gaming content because that interests me.
If you
Other guys,
if you think of it, if that kind of streamer is stealing your viewers, you need to step up. You need to be better and create better content. Because nobody's stealing your viewers, they're just not interested anymore. If you want to keep people interested, you just gotta improve and get better content out there.
yeah, if one of my viewers decides to go to someone sitting in a pool, I seriously need to step my game up.
Man's blowing up his little pool to put them in the house himself.
Yeah, where's my bloody
He's
inflatable?
Gonna get a little child's ball and just
Where's my little inflatable ring?
So what is
That's
it?
going to be my next stream, that, by the way.
Yeah, what is it? Next Friday? Little pool sesh.
Pool party.
But we'll play
Pool
Warzone
party
as well, so we get
podcast.
both sides of the streamers.
This is quite controversial as well, though. What do you think about the promotion of OnlyFans?
Oh, I don't
on
agree on
Twitch?
that. Okay, that's it. That's the point then. That's the point. Honestly, if you can look at all of those pool party people on Twitch, 90% of them have OnlyFans linked to their socials.
in the chat.
90% of them. That's where I think it's wrong. If you've got stuff like that linked to your Twitch, then I'm sorry. It's just stupid. Like that's the people that need to be looked at.
No, I gotta agree.
Because it's just you're literally just linking. You're just linking sex, porn, Twitch, and then they just feed off each other.
literally, yeah.
That's the issue. That's actually a good point. That's the issue there. The fact that people can link their OnlyFans account to their Twitch. There you go. You like watching my Twitch. Now, let me remove this scantily clad piece of clothing for £10.95. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll agree with another point on the cons, kind of like off COVID, and it's linked to the point that there's going to be it's linked to the point of there's a big drop off, right? And it will feed into a few points. Is that because there was such a high, it can be very taxing on the streamers that I don't think a lot realized. Like a lot of people just jumped into streaming because of how easy it is to click go live on the console, especially on the console actually.
Yeah.
On the PC there's more to it because you have to actually set up like OBS. You have to put there's a lot more to going live on a PC and actually getting it to that point. On a console, you can what is it? Is that you got one button here, isn't it? Share.
Yeah, you
That's
hold
it.
the share
Share
button, yeah.
and bang, I'm on Twitch.
Broadcast gameplay. Yeah, done.
Like that is how easy it actually is to get on there, and I think people, like you said, because they've been at such a high, it is extremely taxing now coming back down from that. But on top of that, it's also meant that market in Twitch got so saturated because you suddenly went from an already let's use Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite, but Fortnite is one of the most oversaturated channel categories within Twitch, right? Whereas the minute COVID happened, it tripled, quadrupled, or something. So say you've gone from like 100,000 people, fine, you got nearly 500,000 people then going, oh, I'll stream Fortnite as well then. So it became very oversaturated at that point. And yeah. Especially Warzone. I think we've all experienced it in Warzone anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Well, just adding to the points, when you were saying about with the lockdown being close to an end, or already will. Some things are still, restricted, but it's kind of a plus as well because you're going to bring in new viewers either way. Like, because the bigger streamers, they're not going to stream as much now because there's other things to do throughout the day. So I think that it's also a plus, not only a minus. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's definitely, but it's a bit of both. Oh, nearly knocked over a glass. It's a bit of both on all fronts. It's just going to be interesting to see where it goes. I think there is going to be a huge change in the live streaming industry. It's going to be a huge stream in social media, huge change in content creation. I think we're going to see a big change over the next year. So I think this year has changed a lot, and it's brought a lot more people into it, and it's made a lot more people aware. But it's going to be this next year that's going to be interesting to see how many more doors it potentially opens up. I think, unless anyone else thinks about the next year, but I think it'll be an interesting one to see where it goes. Take advantage of new ventures.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we've covered a good proportion here of COVID v content.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if anyone else has been watching has got any other points. I know we had some points on Twitter come through from. We will put them on the screen as well, but we had some points come in from a few people, and it's kind of like back to what we're saying here or what we've been talking about in our views. We had Turtleneck Nath. You'll see the message coming up, but he was saying that COVID is kind of why I started streaming, content creating. I've been wanting to do it for many years, but the main man Dobbs, pushed me to do it, and I haven't looked back since. And we had another one, Lizardlord6, also said definitely been watching a lot more YouTube and streams. and have started streaming a bit more. I think it's like that's what we were saying. It's just opened a lot more doors. It gave people the freedom and the time to be able to do it, which is a good thing because I think we've met a lot of people as well. I think it has made a lot more people a lot more sociable, and we've met some good people. Like I wouldn't know Parker and I wouldn't know Dobbs if we hadn't gone back into it. So it's even for us, and a lot of the people that we see in the comments and a part of the community. So it has opened up a lot of doors and it's given a lot of people a lot more opportunity to get started. But if anyone else that's watching has got any more, or they want to add in their points, put them in the feedback below in the comments. Get following on the Twitter. I know it is down here. I know last time it did a little movement, but I think it's down there. No, it's down there actually.
With that one, didn't it?
I'm not doing
No,
this. It's actually down there.
I think it's
Oh,
there.
is it there? It's one of the edit it in the correct way wherever it's supposed to. Here.
No, I don't think you should. I think you should leave him to look like a knobhead pointing in different angles.
I'm gonna make sure I know it for next time. I would never get it, but if you do have any points, get them in the comments below. Get subscribing, get liking. That is truly appreciated for us, and it gets us up there, and it continues us doing what we're doing. We will be back next week, next Wednesday again, with another upload. We will leave the topic as a surprise. We'll put a little clue on Twitter. Let's go with that. If people can work it out, there'll be a little clues coming up on Twitter and see if anyone can work it out. I don't know if you guys have got anything else to add.
No, that's it.
No,
It's your boy, Dobbs here.
There we go. That's the sign off. Say it again, Dobbs.
I think I'd rather not.
It's too much pressure for him now.
I've already gone red.
I also realise I'm pointing up here, but you're actually down there on.
Yeah, I'm down here on the actual thing. Yeah.
Just looks like you're doing a dance.
We're
There's
gonna
a
keep
sign.
it at that.
I don't think I ever
And
want to
you
see you
have
in a nightclub.
Guys, thank you for watching as always. It has been myself, Zio, Sparkle, Dobbs, and Parker, and you have been live with Ryze. See you next week.